welcome. This is Ruth, and today I'm going to show you the Festive Votive Holder die set from Tonic Studios. This is it. There are 15 dies in it, and it's one of the Create and Make launches from Tonic. So this is a relatively new thing which has replaced the Stamp Club, and they're really good. They're quite simple to put together, and they're quite inexpensive as well. So it's a lovely little launch that comes once a month. This one actually works along with the Showcase Eternal Love Lantern die set as well. If you're interested, if you've already got that, this one actually will work along with that as well. Now, my Eternal Love Lantern samples have all been posted off to Tonic, so I wasn't able to get all of this done at the same time to just compare the two, but I'll pop a little photo up on screen and show you what that one looks like as well. And obviously then some of these pieces are interchangeable there. But also, I just want to have a very quick look through this, and we'll see that we can use some of these things for, well, other things as well, because there's a lovely little banner die here which you can use. You could even just type a name or stamp a name on there and cut that out, and that would be beautiful to put on a card, maybe on 3D foam pads or something. But we've got Oh Christmas Tree, Peace, Love and Joy, Merry and Bright, and Joyful Season. Little debossing sentiments as well which fit in here. There's a slight little curve to that, and those would be beautiful on any Christmas card as well as on this little votive holder as well. We've got the sides here, the patterned panels and the little base, and I'm guessing we can do a 3-sided one or a 4-sided one, and obviously then that's why we've got the little triangles. I'll have to delete that later on if I'm wrong. But anyhow, I am going to, I love those little bells too, sorry, I should have said that. And that little candle there, sorry, which is interchangeable with this one, it fits in there too. And that would be absolutely gorgeous with some vellum in behind it. Anyhow, I am going to cut some of these out, and I'll be right back, and then we'll see what we can do with them. If you want to be able to see lots of these videos as they come up, and even new things which correspond or work or relate with other die sets have already gone before, it would be a good idea if you maybe subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, because that way you'll be notified whenever a video comes up, and otherwise you may not know and you might miss some. And Tonic have some absolutely amazing die sets at the moment, and I think you would really enjoy them and love them. So that would be good. And if you enjoy it at the end, don't forget to give me a little thumbs up and leave me a little comment if you have time. And my affiliate links to all of the things that I use will be down below in the comments, so thank you very much for that as well. This die cuts out the sides, but it cuts them out plain, and we're going to have a lovely little decorative panel in there so that the battery tea light can shine out through. So you'll cut that plain. First of all, I've cut one just to show you what it looks like, because I'm going to use this for something else, and I've actually taken the little glue tab off the bottom there. But it will actually, here's one in vellum. Might just be a little more difficult to see, but I've cut several of these out, and you can see the tab top down the side there and along the bottom. So to get this little panel inside, I have used this die and this one with the little Christmas tree. So there's two beautiful decorations. One's a little candle and the other is a Christmas tree. That's what the candle one will look like, and this is what the Christmas tree one will look like. So I have taped this down on my card, and then I've put this inside, lined it all up so that all the spaces are even the whole way around, and popped that one in and taped everything down really firmly. Now, if you're not used to die cutting and maybe just a beginner, or you're not too sure, do these separately. Cut one out and then cut the other panel and then cut the next one, because if you haven't got these taped down with really strong tape and got them all in the right position, and you're not very careful with it, one of those dies could maybe just slightly overlap the other, and then you would ruin your dies, and you don't want to do that. So just be really careful with it. But because I'm kind of used to doing that, I just put the 3 of them down together, ran them through the die cutting machine, and then I got this beautiful result here. And because I want to show you the 3-sided one and the 4-sided one, I thought, well, the tree looked like it might be good for the triangular one. So I have cut that out, and then I've cut the larger triangle, and I'm going to use that as the base because that fits exactly across there. And I need 3 of these, and one of these at the moment. I'll probably put another one in, but then I cut out the 3 panels again in the vellum, as I said, and then that was just like this. It started off, and that's the outline of it, but I have cut the tabs off right down and the bottom ones off, and I've actually just taken a tiny sliver off extra as well as that, just to make this slightly narrower than the inside. And you can see there where I've gone ahead and glued that on. You don't want that getting in the way of the glue tabs, top or bottom, so you just take an extra little sliver off. And then I've gone ahead and glued those, and I'm just going to glue this here. So you want to be very careful with your glue, and just make sure that you don't get any of it in spaces where you don't want it, because it will be visible then behind the vellum, because vellum is very fine and delicate. But this gives you lots of areas for putting it through. Actually, I should have burnished those score lines first. I left this one to show you, and then I forgot. I'll just do it now actually, and then I can reinforce that whenever I come at the end with the bone folder and put my vellum in. But there's where we're going, right down there. And then you want to give this a couple of sort of grab points in the center as well. You don't need to go sort of wildly across it all and fill in every piece, because I'm actually going to attach some little pieces on top of this. So where you find a thicker area where the glue won't sort of smudge out, just put it in there and that all will be fine. Now when you go to put this on, it's most important then to line it up right up at the top and make sure all of those little areas are all in the right place, and then the rest will be fine. Hold it down, and then you can take your bone folder and just go right across that and burnish it, and that will make sure that all the glue you've got on there will grab between the white card and your vellum. And there you have it. Now, as I said, I'm just going to burnish this now and make sure it's all aligned. And the other thing is I want to do some paper piecing, and whenever the vellum wasn't there, there was actually no room to do that paper piecing. There was no place for the paper piecing to grab onto. So now I can go ahead and cut this out again in the green and paper piece those pieces right in there. Whenever you just put a piece of card in behind this die here, it will cut out this shape with all of those little bits and pieces. So you can get two uses out of this one. You can go ahead and snip out all those pieces there right along if you just follow the edges. I'll just show you a little bit of it here, but I've already done one. Just follow those little edges out to the end and then nip in here, and you're really just following the outline of the tree the whole way around, and then that will give you this shape, which you can then go ahead if you like and glue directly on top of that. That's one way of using that. Or you can do as what I'm doing right here, paper piece the pieces back into the white tree. So I've kept the pieces in the die there, and then I know exactly where they are, and I am just going to go ahead and add some glue in here. So it doesn't matter if there are extra pieces in there that you don't need. You're not going to glue them in by accident if you just go ahead and add the glue into the pieces that you can see when you're looking directly down at it here, and you'll just get the glue in the right areas. If any of the pieces have just stayed on your orange mat or your cutting mat, don't worry about that. You can just pick them up afterwards and pop them in. But this is a really easy way of doing this. You can just go ahead and lift those pieces out with tweezers now and set them straight in there. Or you can do what I sometimes do, is just pop this on over the top, and then you can feel that sliding into place there, just there. And when you turn it over, you'll have most of your pieces in place, and then you can go ahead and pop those down with a little stylus or whatever. Some of them might have slightly moved, but don't worry, at least they'll be near enough to where you want them. And then you can just lift that off and slide them into position. And that just is a little bit quicker than going ahead and doing these all sort of individually. So you can see there where most of this is in the right place, but there's some pieces there that shouldn't be there. Well, that's not a problem because, as I said, I don't have glue in behind them. So I usually just keep a piece of kitchen paper here and I press those pieces down that have the glue on them. In fact, just go over them all, it doesn't really matter. And then I can turn this upside down, give it a little tap, and the pieces that aren't needed then should come out fairly easily, and you can just remove them. And there you have it. I'm going to go ahead with some red card as well, some red shiny card. I always like sparkly stuff whenever it comes to Christmas, and also whenever there's going to be a little tea light in behind it, because that catches the light. And I've already gone ahead and done that there. On this one, I actually went in behind that with an alcohol marker and thought I would do that differently so that it would look right, but I felt it wasn't just matching that. You could do the whole thing like that and have all the background coloured in different areas with an alcohol marker, because you can use these white areas as your outlines and just colour in behind them nice and neatly. But I didn't feel that it sort of matched this, so I wanted to try it. So that's what it will look like, but it's much nicer whenever you've put the mirror card on top, and that matches in with this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with this one and this one, and have the three of them exactly the same, all paper pieced, and then I'll come back and join them all up. That's the three pieces all paper pieced, and it did take a little bit of time, but I think the results are well worth it, especially when it looks so lovely and sparkly and shiny. Now there are two triangle dies as I showed you there, and there's actually very little difference in them because the cutting line is on the inside of this one and on the outside of that one, so there's very little difference in size of them. But I've taken the larger one and I've glued this on here, so it's just in below there, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing with these. Just glue those glue tabs into the base of this and attach them all together. So when I've got that done, then I'll be able to just bring the sides up, put glue down these glue tabs here, and join the three up, and that's it, finished. And really the whole little votive holder doesn't take long to make at all. The paper piecing is the sort of fiddly bit, but the votive holder itself is not really difficult to make. You can make sure that that glue is completely attached inside by just putting your little bone folder or something in and running it along where the seam joins there on all the three sides, but you can keep that flat on your desk and just run it like that. Now I've got the smaller triangle, and as I said, there's very little difference in them, but this one just fits nicely over the top, and it will cover all those little glue tabs on the bottom of this. So just like that. There we are. You could actually put the glue tabs on the inside and put this over before you join the sides up as well, so just whichever way you prefer for that one. In fact, you could even do that maybe a sparkly colour, a gold or something, and it might reflect the little battery tea light up. But there you are, that's it, finished. It's hard to see that in daylight, but that will look really lovely later on. I thought that might make a nice little gift for someone along with a matching card. So I have cut out the full panel again with this die, and I have cut off the bottom tab and I have folded back this one, and now I'm going to turn that over so this is the good side facing the back, and then I have cut the same panel that I cut here and paper pieced it. So this is the one I showed you earlier, and I've cut off the tab down the side of that. So this one would have had the tab down here and along here, and I've cut both of those off, and I have back this with vellum as well. And obviously you could back that with plain card, just whatever you like, but I will be writing something inside it, but I can do it in behind this area here. So now this then will be the back, and obviously you could do this either way. I could have left the tab on this one and attached it to one of these without any tab on it, but that way then you would see this glue tab down the inside, and if I glue it there, it's not as obvious whenever it's actually attached to this part here. So that will make a lovely little matching card to go along with the little votive holder. Now I'm going to make a four-sided one. So I've cut this panel out along with this one and the little one with the candle in it, and I've cut that out 4 times. And again, if you're not confident or comfortable or even too sure of it, make sure you do that in 3 different stages and not the way I've done it, just in one there. But that's the result, and you'll need 4 of those for this one, and you'll also need 2 of the squares as well. Then I have used the same die as I used for the outside, so that's this one, and I have cut some of the gold vellum out in that, and again, like I did on the other one there, I trimmed slightly down here, here and here, took the glue tabs off and just left a little sliver shorter than the actual side here, because you want that to go on, and you also want these tabs to be able to fold around, and you don't want any ripples or buckles in that. So now I can go ahead and just glue this back in here again, and again just the same thing. I don't have my little precision nozzle anymore because I had a big craft room change around a while ago and I've mislaid it, and I really wish I had it, but this isn't bad anyway. Just put glue around these areas here. Make sure you catch it well up at the top there and there, and then in anywhere else that you can see that you think there's a little area where you could add some glue just to hold it. You don't want that just around the outside. You will want it caught a few places in the center as well, and then along there. There we are. Now I can go ahead with this again, and as the last time, just line it up at the top and make sure those top edges are perfectly in place. And then if these ones are slightly off, it doesn't really matter because that's hidden so long as it doesn't come inside that part. But if the top is fair and square, then you're good to go. Now I have gone ahead again and used the little die with the candle in it, and I've cut that out 4 times. So that's this one, and it keeps it in the card, but you're going to nip off all those edges the way I did with the little tree that I showed you earlier in this one. And I've cut the candle out like that, and now I'm going to glue that directly on top there. Then I have just kept one of the little pieces from the flame, and I'm going to paper piece that back in again, and just keep it nice and elegant and simple this time. No extra colours and bits and pieces on it, but that will go directly on top of that candle like that. You could offset it if you wanted, just a little bit over, but I think I want it just like that. Again, flip it over and run your bone folder down the back of it, and that makes sure all the pieces are grabbed, and then you don't have to go in afterwards and attach any more. Then this is the little piece from the flame up at the top. So obviously there are 2 pieces in the flame there. There's this smaller area and this one. So I'm leaving one in between and then popping that one in like that. And as if by magic, I have 3 more cut out. So there we are. Now I've got to take one of my squares and again do the same as what I did with the triangular one. I'm just going to glue these glue tabs onto the base here. So right in there the whole way around, and then I'll attach the sides up together and make the 4-sided votive holder. I can come in with the second little square and add that right over the base there. Just make sure you've got the glue right all of it out to the edges, and that will cover up all these glue tabs. And as I said with the other one, you could do it the other way around. You could have the glue tabs on the inside and then put the other piece on the inside to cover that. Either way does the job. Now I'm going to make an A2 card with this as well. So I've taken the large die and I've popped that into the center and die cut that. I actually put the little one with the candle in at the same time. So when you're doing that on an A2 card, you'll have 3 centimeters each side, here and here. And always remember to open the card out, because obviously then if you run it through while it's folded over, this pattern will cut out through the 2 sides. So that being done, we can lift that off, and that is really, really lovely, just like that. If you want a very, very simple card, it's really lovely with that sort of filigree pattern on it. But I have then taken the same little die with the candle on it, and I've cut this out in the same way as I did with the tree and showed you the little tree that I paper pieced back onto one there. I have cut this out in gold, and now I'm going to lay that on top there. It's actually tempted to maybe put it inside and just have it offset. That's quite nice as well. So there's different ways of doing that. You could do that. You could even just cover the back of that with vellum as well and put this on, but I think this time I'm going to glue that directly on top there. And then I have taken a piece of vellum which is slightly smaller than the height of the card. Now it's really just a sliver, as you can see there, very, very little, just so you don't have it sticking out over the edge. And then with the same width, but I've added a little extra piece on, and I've scored that down there, and I'm going to glue this directly onto here, or even maybe put a piece of tape on and glue it onto and attach it onto there, so that this is a kind of a loose leaf and it doesn't close this up completely. This little die cuts out the banner shape, and then, as I showed you at the start, there's a selection of little sentiments to put in there. So they actually cut out separately. That one doesn't just deboss onto the top of this one, it cuts out a separate piece. So I've cut that out, and then I've cut the second one, and I'm going to put that on here. And I wasn't too sure if I wanted it, you know, which way around I wanted this, but I think I'm going to put it here and then pop this on top and just glue it all across the bottom there. I think that looks really nice, and I don't want to add an awful lot more onto this one, because I think the look I'm going for is simple elegance, and well, I hope that's what I'm creating. You might think otherwise. So rather than put the glue right across there and then have some of it coming through here, I'm just going to work out where exactly I want that, which is right across there, I think. And I'll put glue in a little line on the areas that actually have got a card on them there, and that will hold it all in place. It doesn't actually take an awful lot of glue. I can put a wee drop there and a wee drop there. I wanted to show you how the Eternal Love Lantern from the showcase set worked along with this, and obviously I don't want to go into the whole in-depth of this again, but I'll link the video of this one down below and you can have a look. But this makes the most beautiful lantern, and there's a lot more detail to it than there is to this one, and you can use any of the panels from this one on here, and then you can obviously use these ones on here, so there's lots and lots of mix and match there. So I've cut out because I'm actually on this one again, I have cut out the side panels, these lovely panels here, and I've cut that out twice, and then I have cut out the little bride from the Eternal Love Lantern set, and I have added it onto here. Now it's still with this one with the poinsettias at the top, but there's no other Christmassy things on it, and that really just looks like wedding flowers or something up there. There's nothing to say that that's got to be poinsettias. So I've put red, or sorry, thinking of poinsettias, I have put gold in behind that this time, and that looks really, really pretty. And I'm going to make a little pocket. So this could be a pocket for a memory book, or it could even be for a gift tag or something like that inside. And I have folded this back here, and I have folded this one back here, and the base of this one, but I don't really need the bottom to this one. So I am just going to cut that off right across there. And now I can glue this tab and this tab and this tab together and make a lovely little pocket there. There's a lovely little die that has 2 bells on it, and that actually cuts out the outline of one bell and a solid shape of the other. That's it there. So I have cut that out in satin card and mirror card, and I'm just going to alternate those. So I'm going to put the satin card on top of the mirror card like that, and then do the other way around on this one. And because those are bells, and they could be wedding bells or Christmas bells, I'm going to add that at the top of this little wedding tag pocket or whatever. And that's just another way of sort of cross-pollinating or whatever the little die sets as well. Now I'm just going to glue one of these on and then add the other one on a foam pad. And oh look, isn't that nice? I like it. There we are. Now that I've got all my bits and bobs ready, I always come back at the end and do all the little extra bits. So I've got some little stars and baubles cut out here. So these actually cut out an outer star with the loop on it, and then a smaller one to fit inside it. So I have taken those and cut them out in 2 types of card again, and I'm just going to glue one on top of the other. So I'll put the shiny one on top of the matte one, and likewise, and I'm going to add them onto this little card. But I think on this one I'm going to add some crystal drops, so I'll go and get some of my red crystal drops for that one and come back when I have all that done. And there you have it. I added some honeydew glitter drops as well to that one, and you can see it looks like little baubles all around the tree. Now that's me finished, and thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope it's given you lots of ideas of different ways of using that. So we've got the 2 votive holders here, the triangular one and the square one. And obviously then you could paper piece this in a lot more detail and a lot more colour, but I thought that was rather elegant. And I'm going to take some photographs of it, and I hope I can get some showing that that candle looks beautiful in there and there as well. Don't forget a battery candle, not a proper candle. And then this to go along with this one, this little card to go along with this one. I've also made this little tag. I thought that was nice, and I was going to hang it on there, but I think I don't actually want to add any more detail onto any of those, so I'm just going to leave that the way it is. But I wanted to show you what that looked like anyhow. And then the lovely little wedding gift card tag pocket or whatever. So if you've enjoyed that, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment and let me know which one of those you prefer, and let me know If you've already got that showcase lantern, any other ways that you've thought of using that with it as well, because there's quite a lot of different ways you could incorporate the two sets together. My affiliate links to all the products that I've used will be down below in the description, and thanks very much to everybody who already uses those. I'd really love you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell if possible. I'll get a little notification or a little email every time a new video comes out. I've got lots in drafts already, just ready to press that button whenever the products are released, and I think you're going to really enjoy those because Tonic have lots of lovely new stuff coming, as I said. Now, I hope that this has inspired you to think creatively about your die sets and to use them to the max, not just for what they're intended to do, which is absolutely spectacular. Obviously what they're designed to make in the first place is the tops. The designer has obviously put a lot of effort into them to get them that, but I want you to creatively and get some more out of your sets by using them for different things as well. Sure, by now you're expecting that and you're probably thinking, oh yes, hopefully it has worked, and you're starting to think like that yourself too. Don't limit yourself just what's on the front of the packaging. And thank you so much once again for watching. If you have watched and even listened to me right through to the very end, I do really appreciate that. So in the meantime, until I see you with my next video, thanks again and happy crafting. Bye bye.